Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about camouflage. This presentation will talk about what is camouflage and how certain animals use different types of camouflage. So what is camouflage? Camouflage is when an animal will try to blend into their surroundings as a defense mechanism. An example of this is a chameleon. Chameleons will try to blend into certain natural backgrounds like grass, leaves, and other plants. So why do animals use camouflage? Here are a couple reasons. One, they try to use it to defend themselves. This could scare off predators by the way they look or smell. They also use camouflage to mask their location from prey or predators. They can both use it. If you're prey, an animal that wants to be eaten, you always want to hide from your predator. So by hiding in plain sight, we can eliminate that problem. And on the predator side, if an animal is able to disguise itself, it's an easier way to find food in plain sight. So on to the types of camouflage. We have 5 main types of camouflage, and then we also added an extra type. So the first one is concealing coloration. This is where an animal will blend into its surroundings. Then we have disruptive coloration, where there is high contrasting colors to trick predators. Then there's disguise, just kidding, where an animal will blend into its surroundings by not only color, but texture and shape. Mimicry, where an animal will look very similar to another animal. Counter shading, where an animal will be lighter on its belly side to appear flatter. And finally, olfactory camouflage, where an animal will change its scent, the scent of itself, to throw off their prey.
All right, y'all. So the first type of camouflage I'm going to talk to you guys about today is concealing coloration. This type of camouflage allows an animal to blend into their environment, mainly by using their biological coloration to hide their location and movement. A few animals that use concealing coloration, especially in the winter, are polar bears, Arctic foxes, and snowshoe hares. And if you're not too sure what a snowshoe hare is, it is a mammal that is similar to rabbits but are larger and have longer ears and legs. However, most animals will use their camouflage to hide from predators or to hunt on prey. And hares are actually the prey for many species, but one thing a hare has an advantage of is having the ability to flee fast from predators by using their long hind legs to protect them. And here's a fun fact that I found about snowshoe hares and their camouflage abilities. It's that they can actually change the color of their fur during different seasons. As humans, our hair is made up of dead cells, well, so is a hare's fur coat. And because we cannot change the color of our hair naturally, neither can a hare. So they have to shed their entire coat, and what causes this is the duration of daylight. In the springtime, the snowshoe hare will shed their winter coat for their brown color coat in the summer. And in the fall, the hare will shed their brown coat and prepare for winter and start growing their white winter coat again. The next type of camouflage we're going to talk about is disruptive coloration, which allows certain animals to use a high contrast of patterns to create an illusion on the animal's body. Stripes and spots are the main patterns that are commonly seen, and the advantage of these different patterns is that they can trick predators. For example, when a herd of zebras are crowded together, it may seem like one large animal to a lion or tiger who is stalking the zebra. This makes it difficult for the lion to focus and make a plan to attack just one zebra. A cool thing about this type of camouflage is that zebras aren't the only ones that use this type of camouflage to protect themselves. There are a few predators that use disruptive coloration also, like leopards. Leopards will sneak low to the ground, and their spots on their body will help them blend in with the leaves and dark shadows. The next type of camouflage I'm going to talk to you about is known as disguise. It is similar to concealing coloration, but now animals are blending in with their surroundings by shape and texture and not only color. A few animals that use this type of camouflage is the giant leaf-tailed gecko and the Malayan horned frog. The way the gecko hides themselves is by flattening their body against leaves and tree branches. They have fringe flaps on the sides of their body and lower jaws, and this is what allows them to flatten against surfaces. The increased surface area reflects and refracts light, which aids in their ability to camouflage so that the light doesn't shine on their body. And just a small fun fact about these geckos is that the giant leaf-tailed gecko is, when it is disturbed, it will open its jaws really wide and show a bright red color in their mouth and create a very loud sound that sounds like a child screaming.
The next type of camouflage is mimicry. Mimicry is the act of imitating or resembling another species to avoid detection by predators. There are two main forms of mimicry utilized by both predators and prey, Batesian and Mullerian mimicry. In this slide, there is an example of a scarlet king snake resembling a coral snake. This type of mimicry is referred to as Batesian mimicry. Batesian mimicry occurs when a harmless species, in this case the scarlet king snake, has evolved to take advantage of a visual cue given off by another species, the coral snake, that has chemical defenses. This is advantageous for the king snake because by resembling a toxic species, the king snake tricks a predator into thinking they're toxic, thus avoiding being attacked. The second type of mimicry we're going to be discussing is Mullerian mimicry. Mullerian mimicry is when two or more toxic species share a common warning coloration. An example of Mullerian mimicry are poison frogs. On the top left, we see the mimic Rhinitomea imitator. On the left, Veradero blotched morph, and on the right, the striped morph. On the bottom row are the frogs they are imitating. On the left, the Rhinitomea fantastica, and the right is the Rhinitomea variabilis. With both frogs being toxic and having similar appearances, a predator will avoid both species, allowing for a higher mortality rate. Our next type of camouflage is countershading. Countershading is a method of camouflage in which an animal's coloration is darker on the upper side and lighter on the underside of their body. This type of camouflage is also referred to as Thayer's law. An example of countershading is a great white shark. From an aerial view, the dark dorsal side of the shark blends in with the dark depths of the ocean. By using countershading, the shark can hide whenever ambushing a prey. When looking from the ventral side or the underside, their white belly blends in with the bright surface of the ocean.
So now on to olfactory camouflage. One type of camouflage that doesn't involve sight is olfactory camouflage. Olfactory meaning being able to smell. So instead of trying to mimic another background, like regular camouflaged animals, they will instead mimic the smell of other animals. One type of animal that does this is the California ground squirrel. To keep predators away, the squirrel will chew up rattlesnake skin and put it on its tail to confuse other rattlesnakes into thinking that a fellow rattlesnake is nearby.
Now we're going to be quizzing you guys on the different types of camouflage that we've covered today. You'll have 5 seconds before we reveal the answer. Feel free to pause if you need more time.